Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. This reading is going to be a collective reading for the solar eclipse and new moon in Taurus taking place April 30th, 2022. I do full moon and new moon readings every month for everyone. So in this particular case, it is a new moon in Taurus, but that doesn't mean you have to have Taurus anywhere in your chart to be able to watch this reading. Anyone can watch it if they're looking for messages on the journey. Full moon time is a time where we let go, we release, we reassess, we purge things in our life that aren't working in order to make space for new things to come in, such as the new moon, right? Where we open ourselves up to receive and attract new things into our life. So it's always good to get a look at the full moon energies and the new moon energies because, you know, we want to see with the full moon time, especially, like what is it that we're maybe letting go? And then with the new moon time, we kind of want to see what we're bringing in. So that's why I do these readings. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to start with the fortune reading cards to kind of act as the main energy of the full or new moon, sorry, new moon. So new moon in Taurus, April 30th. We want to see what the main energy is for this new moon solar eclipse in Taurus. So let's see. New moon solar eclipse in Taurus, April 30th, 2022. Right. Wow, look at that. Goals. Progress is positive and personal goals will be achieved. You know, it doesn't surprise me that this card is here. I mean, look at the coins, right? And Taurus is earth energy, pentacles. So yeah, it makes sense that this is here. So this is telling me that, all right, I just got the vibe of like being steadfast and headstrong, right? In other words, the feeling is also relentless, okay? Relentlessness. So if you are persistent, headstrong, relentless, right? And you're pushing towards something, this new moon is where you're going to see the most progress towards your goal. All right. You're going to see what you need to see in order to continue to motivate you. That's what this card is giving me, which is, you know, a little different than what I'm normally get from this card. But it's the feeling of you, okay, not to be punny here, but like you literally grabbing the bull by the horns and, you know, things are taking off because you've been persistent, you've pushed, and now is where you're making the progress. Now is where you're actually physically seeing the progress. Right? It says progress is positive, personal goals will be achieved. So this is a yes. This is telling you that this new moon time is where you're opening the floodgates to achieve what you set out to do. Whatever it is that you had set the intention for way back, this is where you're going to start to see the fruit of it. Okay? This new moon is where those doors open up to you. Okay? So I have the Dreaming Way Tarot. Let's see if we can get 3 cards here for this new moon in Taurus. Wow. Okay, so we have the Death card, 9 of Cups, the 5 of Pentacles, and I'm going to grab one more. I think that's where you're letting go. You're letting go of the lack, right? Maybe the feeling that this is giving me is that if there was ever an occasion along the journey where you feel like you weren't making the headway, you feel like you weren't making progress, right? The idea of lack is the lack or not having or not making the progress that you would like to see. That is what's actually being removed from your path. You are on the road, right, to your wish fulfillment with the 9 of Cups, your satisfaction. You could have also been doing a lot of shadow work leading up to this new moon in regards to with the 9 of Cups self-love. But this is what feels like it's going away. I think you've shifted or changed or transmuted that energy with the Death card. Right? The idea of I can't or it's not possible or maybe I'm not good enough. you know, those are the kinds of things that in our own mindset, our subconscious even, we might believe, right? And it's oftentimes what hinders and hurts us on the journey to arriving at a goal. And it feels like with the death card energy, this is what you've kind of put to bed. Because that could have been the one thing getting in the way of what it was that you wanted or desired when it came to your goals. Right? But let's see what this card is. Yeah, see, you've been strong. And this is telling me despite a lot of the obstacles, right? You're making progress. And Spirit wants you to know that. And it has required a lot of your strength and fortitude in order to get through it on the other side. This new moon, though, for whatever reason, it's feeling like some of the sacrifices that you've made along the way, a lot of things that you've maybe given up with the Five of Pentacles or lost. If there was any energy drain that you might have experienced as well, because sometimes the Five of Pentacles can talk about energy drain, whether it's in your surroundings or environment. But whatever loss you have endured with the Strength card and anything that you've had to overcome, it's taught you a lot about yourself with the Nine of Cups in regards to how to love yourself or how to bring yourself into wholeness, how to know your worth as well. Because if there was anything or any situation that was making you question your worth, or if you were wondering if what you were pursuing was valid, okay, the feeling here is that this new moon is going to show you that everything that you have been pushing towards indeed had merit. I'm going to look underneath the deck. I want to see what's underneath the surface here. Real quick, the Strength card is Leo. So I don't know if any of you have that somewhere in your chart. It could be planetary energies as well. Same with the Death card of Scorpio. But nonetheless, you're going through a lot of changes right now in regards to you accomplishing something. The Strength card is also indicating here that oftentimes that we have to fight the beast within ourselves, right? I don't know, this reading's a little strange. I feel like it's not in a bad way. It's more like I didn't expect it to be this deep. You know what I mean? But that's the feeling that it's giving me. Let me put this down for a second, because when I'm looking at the Death card directly across from the Strength and vice versa, the feeling of this is having to like fight a lot of your own demons along the way to accomplishing a manifestation, or breaking down walls and barriers within yourself, mind, body, heart, and spirit, in order to allow the progress to be made on the goal or towards the goal. This is about, with the Nine of Cups, your happiness. Okay, you achieving this goal is something that would bring you happiness, fulfillment with the Nine of Cups, and a sense of satisfaction. Maybe you have been dissatisfied with the progress you have made thus far. You have undergone a lot of change and transformation, metamorphosis process, perhaps maybe even a dark night of the soul for some of you, in regards to something that you've set your intention towards achieving. And it's been a process. It's been a journey, just put it that way, right? It's been a journey, but along the journey, there has been a lot gained. You've learned your worth. Okay, the idea of lack or lack mentality or not being good enough or whatever, like, you've learned to love yourself through the process of this, maybe even to have compassion for yourself along the way as well. And you fought a lot of your inner demons, and you've actually overcome that adversity. That adversity that maybe would keep, like inner adversity spiritually, that would actually keep you from achieving your goals. This is what has been overcome. The Strength is telling us that you've conquered the beast within, right? And you've risen above that. And those things, right? Those demons, let's say, or the beast within, the lower vibrational energies that we all, you know, have to work our way through. They don't have the power to control you. You actually have control over them now. You see? And that is the energy of the Strength card, because she does conquer the lion. She has dominion and power over the lion. It's not the other way around, not anymore at least. Some part of you, it feels like, recently has been put in the past. Like, you're not the same. There's part of you, obviously, that has changed along the journey to arriving at your goals. But some of you who are watching this reading, if you're resonating with it thus far, it could be that your journey so far to arriving at a goal or achieving or manifesting something has not been easy. And we can see that here with the cards. But what it has taught you is self-love. It has taught you your worth, or to know your worth. It's taught you maybe to have compassion for yourself. It's changed you. It's made you stronger. It's shed old aspects of yourself that would hinder their journey moving forward and also would prevent you from receiving. So it kind of feels like the sickle, right? The sickle in the death card has cut away those aspects of self that would hinder the receiving of your wish fulfillment, right? With the Nine of Cups. But let's see what's underneath. What's underneath? Let's see. Wow, Queen of Cups energy. So water energy. Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio underneath the surface. This is about, okay, the feeling that this is giving me is about conquering emotions, right? Maybe that's part of it with the Strength card, where you're in control of that now. Maybe your emotions would get the better of you. Your mindset might, you know, take you down a dark hole or whatever. But with this new moon, this is basically saying here that these are all the things that you've conquered on the road to your goals achieved. The journey has been one of growth, transformation. But, you know, that's the thing, like, the feeling here is that it was meant to. It was meant to change you along the way. Free you of any lower vibrational forces that will put you or keep you in a state of lack or limitation with the Five of Pentacles. You had to kind of like uproot that, is the feeling here, and conquer over it. Gain control over that. The Queen of Cups is an energy underneath the surface. This is saying, you know, yeah, it's an emotional card. Talks about intuition as well. And it's also an energy of nurturing. So underneath the surface, you maybe had to learn how to nurture yourself, conquer your emotions, and, you know, bring them into a state of balance. And I'm not seeing any like energy of balance, but I'm feeling it. Maybe it's because the Queen of Cups has the little girl next to her, and there's this, I mean, there's two people in the card. So it's giving me this feeling of equilibrium, like the inner child, right? The inner child and then the adult self is kind of what this is feeling like. So part of you had to, maybe underneath the surface, had to heal the inner child. Heal the inner child and bring you, right? And the inner child into harmony with one another again. So if your inner child at any point in your journey grew up in a state of lack or questioning their worth, you know, questioning your worth, whether you were capable, lovable, you know, there's a lot of different woundings that we can experience as a child that we fight with in our subconscious and our conscious, right? As adults, it's like old programming that we have to break ourselves free from. This old programming oftentimes can hinder our progress. You know, it says progress is positive, personal goals achieved. So sometimes we have to heal that old wounding because it hinders our progress and blocks us from receiving and or achieving the intentions and the goals we set out for ourselves. And that's a hard pill to swallow, I know. I mean, we've all been there though, right? At least on, you know, I have on the journey. I've gone through many stages of change and transformation and transmutation, right? Having to heal those inner child wounds. So I know what that's all about. It's never pleasant to have to, you know, face that. But at the same time, when you can really understand, you know, the root of the issue, then you can tackle it. You know, you can tackle it, overcome it, heal it, and hopefully eventually it be, you know, you could put it behind you. So the Queen of Cups is giving me that underneath the surface, that there had to be a balance found between, you know, you and your inner child, kind of like an integration of sorts, right? Kind of like an integration of sorts is what I was going for there. So it's about integrating the you, right? The fully grown version of you and the inner child. It's integrating all these aspects of self into wholeness. And we're seeing that with the Strength card. We're seeing the accomplishment of it. So the beautiful thing about this is that it's a lot, right? It's a lot to take in regards to like everything that you had to go through and experience to get to this new moon. But now that we're seeing this integration, and also I feel this healing, and then also this conquering over these things and adversities and blockages and aspects of shadow and the past, now that we're seeing that these things are overcome, right? The new moon is promising that there's progress to be had and made and seen now. So you couldn't have had or made the progress that you're going to see and encounter and experience with this new moon unless you had gone through that change, transformation, self-love, right? Learning your worth, conquering over these aspects of a wounded, maybe root chakra, right? Where we want to feel safe. If it wasn't for all that work, all right, that's what the Death card is telling me, even as a combo with the Nine of Cups, as a, you know, it's like the feeling here with these two cards is you had to go through that shadow work of self-love, right? In order to then allow yourself to receive and then be put on the path to progress so you can attract in the goals, okay, that maybe have been held up or delayed, right, for some time. Yeah, this is pretty fascinating. I want to grab a Healing with the Angels card as well. Like I said, I wasn't expecting such a deep message, right? In regards to this new moon. But at the same time, it's like this feeling of relief, right? Because that is out of the way now, or it's leaving, right? Because the Death card talks about an ending, and with endings always come new beginnings, right? So you had to end that, or you had to put that away and conclude that with the Death card in order now, and conquer over it too, in order for now, right, the goals to be achieved. It's kind of this feeling of you can't have one without the other, in other words, right? You couldn't have one without the other. Let's see, new moon in Taurus. April 30th, 2022. And the other feeling that this is giving me is that this reading is like feeling like a pictorial of what it took to get you to this point of receiving now. So I guess the feeling is to remind you, right? Not that you need reminding, but to remind you of how far you've come up into this point. All right, so let's see. Okay, so it says ideas and inspiration. And I wonder if maybe that's part of your goals, right? You've been working up to something, maybe putting a lot of energy into your ideas, your creativity, maybe your projects and the things that you have been inspired with. You know, a lot of times our manifestations always begin and our goals always begin with an idea, an inspiration that spirit sparks within us. And oftentimes it's like it's a hustle, right, to achieve something, especially if it's a big idea, especially if it's a big inspiration. For some of you, again, this is a creative endeavor you've been putting a lot of your energy into, and you've been wondering for a while, you know, maybe you haven't been, again, making that headway. I think you have been, again, headstrong, and you have not given up this entire time. And it is that, again, that persistence, you know, and that restlessness to arrive at your goal is what's actually going to help you achieve it too. But I also feel like part of the journey to achieving this was also part of your healing and transformation. So I also want to say with this energy that your ideas and the inspiration that you have been given, the energy that you have put behind any ideas, manifestation, intention that you have, this is valid, okay? These things are valid and they're worth pursuing. And any energy that you've put into something in the past, now, and any energy that you have put into it in the future, you know, is not in vain. Especially like if it changed you along the way, is a feeling here. The thing is that this energy is saying, this new moon is telling me you're ready for this, because it feels like this is all out of the way. The integration that was needed, the healing and the wholeness and the alignment that was needed, it's there now. It's visible, right? These cards are showing us that. It's, again, that pictorial I was saying, to show you what you've been through, where you were to versus where you are now. It's like a huge, it feels like a huge difference in shift and a change in your overall maybe persona and the growth that has taken place along the way to achieving and or manifesting something. And a lot of times, you know, intuition, Queen of Cups underneath the surface, you know, this is about us honing and, you know, tapping into that intuition, which is also the way spirit speaks to us, and also the way that oftentimes inspiration is delivered to us. So again, it's telling me that there's part of what your goals are have been perhaps intuitively inspired within you. And again, this is you and your higher self in co-creation with one another towards your goals. And they are extremely valid because of that. This is like on an inherent soul level, you and your soul, right? Your higher self and God Creator Spirit in co-creation with one another to achieve this. But there was work that had to be done, right? On a healing level before you could be ready to receive the gains right? And the progress you have been seeking this whole time. It kind of feels like Spirit was using the journey to arriving at this goal, right? Spirit was using that also as a way to help heal aspects of yourself that maybe needed that healing. Maybe it, again, had you take a deeper look at yourself and maybe do that deeper work on yourself throughout the process, you know, I guess throughout the journey of arriving at this. I love that this new moon is basically saying progress is positive. So please, if at any moment with the Five of Pentacles you were doubting, right, the progress, if you were even still headed in the right direction, because sometimes with the Five of Pentacles we can get into that vibe of like, you know, is this ever going to amount to anything, is the feeling that the Five of Pentacles sometimes can give. And Spirit wants you to know with this card as the main energy here, your progress is positive and your personal goals will be achieved. You are making progress. If you doubted it at any moment, right? If you doubted it at any moment, Spirit is saying here that you are making progress and that you are moving in the right direction. We just needed this healing first. We needed this integration of you, your inner child, and any changes, right, that you had to go through and endure and overcome. Like, we needed all that to get healed, and we needed you to come into wholeness so that way you can then, the feeling is, receive your bounty. Because all this work you've been putting into your ideas, your inspirations, your manifestations, and your intentions has not been in vain, not 1 minute. Please know that. You were inspired with this idea or inspiration, let's say, for a purpose. Part of, or one layer of that, okay, was so you can learn and grow and heal along the way to arriving at it. Which is pretty mind-blowing in a way, right? How that can happen. Sometimes we don't look at it like that. Because, let's be honest here, how many of us can truly say that we're the same person, right, that we were when we began the journey? I don't think any of us could say we're the same person as when we first started any journey. Something changes us along the way. This new moon is going to show you that. And this new moon is going to open the floodgates for you to start to see the progress in real time. With statistics, like, I feel like numbers and, you know, because numbers are a measure of growth, right? With either numbers or something visual, something tangible that you can actually see, touch, hold. Like, you're going to be able to physically see the progress in the month of May, where before you just weren't seeing it. That's what this is saying. All right, because this new moon, I mean, I forgot how many days exactly are in the month of April. Is it just 30, right? I could have sworn. But the feeling is here, like, we're right there on the edge of April to May, right? So it's kind of like this is transitioning. This new moon is transitioning you from one month into another, right? And it feels like you will see the progress in the next month, right? So it feels like May will, it's like this new moon is going to carry you out of April into May, and May is going to be the month where you see the progress being shown before you in front of your very eyes, okay? So let's grab some extra cards here. Hold on. Lost love, it says. Self-sufficient. And moving on, escape. So lost love, again, the feeling of lack, right? And I was saying that along the journey we did, you know, part of you had to probably have to learn how to love yourself, right? Maybe be self-sufficient and move on from the past. Let that go with the Death card. So that makes sense there, right? If there was anything that you lost along the way, right, with the Five of Pentacles, any kind of loss. Maybe you lost love for what you were doing even, right, along the way, or kind of got disheartened in some way. That's how this is reading to me. Yes, it could definitely be lost love or wounding that you were maybe healing from, or putting behind you so it wasn't a blockage anymore, right, to your own personal growth. Maybe you had to learn to love yourself after a lost relationship or a broken up relationship or moving on from somebody, right? And it had to, maybe it made you self-sufficient to get you back on your own 2 feet to learn to love yourself again. Like, that's the feeling here. I mean, that you can, there's a lot of things that can put you on the path to learning to love yourself and to know that you are enough and sufficient, right? So that's just one aspect of it. But again, if there was anything in your journey that you felt lost about, that you felt disheartened about, okay, I feel like you're moving on from that. That is what you're healing from. You're learning to stand back on your own 2 feet, stronger. Again, with the Strength card. Again, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, right? So they say. And you're learning to, again, conquer over these things. If you had lost any love for yourself, this is about being put on the path to regain that. I feel a lot of you watching this have already gone through that healing work. To learn to love yourself through the process of anything that you were experiencing or any goal that you were trying to achieve. And you are moving on from those things of the past, those losses of the past, or that sense of loss or lack. You are regaining your strength. You are becoming self-sufficient. The feeling is here also standing taller. I guess it's the Strength card that's giving me that vibe. This new moon, you will be standing a lot taller. Part of me wants to take the top card, another card. Yeah, look at that, divine timing. Yeah, this was all a matter of timing as well. Like, you had to be ready for it. You had to heal in order to be ready for what's to come. And what's on the other side of this shadow work or healing that you've been doing in the back end is the arrival of you at your personal goals being achieved. Spirit wants you to know this has all been a matter of divine timing. It couldn't happen any sooner. Like I said, you couldn't have the goal achieved without this taking place first, you know? And that took time. But that timing was purposeful, is what it's saying. And then you have the arrow here, which is, you know, a symbol of landing your mark. And it's about movement in the air, because arrows fly through the air. So this has been a matter of divine timing, right? And it couldn't happen any sooner. You had to go through what you, like I said, this is a pictorial of what it took to get to this point where you were able and now ready to receive, right? You couldn't have that healing shadow work. You couldn't have the goal achieved without that healing and shadow work having been accomplished first. I hope that makes sense. Because you couldn't have one without the other. It's kind of like having to get to a point like on the journey where you have to become a vibrational match with what it was that you were trying to attract. And in order to become a vibrational match with whatever it is you're trying to attract, you had to heal these aspects of self to clear out the old debris so it wouldn't hinder, hurt, or block you from the vibration that you need to take on to line up and or materialize, right? To line up with, match, and materialize the goal. This is a super interesting reading. Like, I was not expecting this. Not at all. So I hope you guys are following me. And that you get what I'm dishing out. That you get me, right? But I'm going to grab a Sacred Destiny Oracle here. And I'm going to read directly from the book. And I'll finish this off with some angel numbers with a roll of the dice. So let's see this new moon in Taurus. You know, I'm wondering if the depth of like what is being presented here has to do anything with the solar eclipse. I'm just curious, like if you know, I mean, I'm not an astrology person. I mean, I know a little bit of stuff, but that is not my forte. There's 2 cards here. Let's see if we can get through them. Because it's going to be a really long reading, but I'm not an astrology person, all like that. So if any of you have, you know, can elaborate on maybe why this new moon seems so like impactful in a way, and I guess the only word I can think of really is deep. Yeah, let me know. All right, let's see what we have here. Wow, look at that purification. Okay, that would fall in line with the healing that I was picking up, right? And then look at the sunflower with the sun. It's a symbol of the sun. And it's also a symbol of success. And then it says flexibility. Okay, so let's get into this. I'll start with the purification card first. If I can find it. There we go. Says, traditionally rain symbolizes rebirth. There you go. Right? Death card. That's exactly what it is. It's an ending in order to have your rebirth. It says, and washing one's sins away. Washing away of the past, perhaps, right? Water is also associated with emotions, Queen of Cups underneath the surface. And a summer rain can represent the release of long-held emotions, there you go, that allows for purification and inner healing. There's also a renewal aspect of rain. The old saying, April showers bring May flowers. Holy shit. Didn't I say that? There was something about like this new moon taking you from the month of April into May, right? April showers bringing May flowers. So, do you see what I'm saying? Like, that's wild. Holy cow. It says means April showers brings May flowers means that what follows the rain is a time of renewal and blossoming. There you go. Like I said, you had to go through the rain. You had to go through your storm. You had to go through your healing. You had to go through that shadow work. Right? You couldn't have one without the other. So you can't have the flowers blooming in May if it wasn't for the rain and the nurturing of the soil with that rain in April. Do you get me? So let me read that again. The old saying, April showers brings May flowers, means that what follows the rain is a time of renewal and blossoming. So this new moon is carrying you from the dark into the light, from the rain into the sunshine. Okay? From the blocked into seeing progress. Right? And like the card says, into a time of renewal and blossoming. So it says, the sacred landscape wants you to know it's difficult for new vibrant energy to enter your life if it's clogged with old and outdated energy. Okay, I quit my job. I'm done. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what more do I need to say? It's literally word for word. I had said and that you couldn't have been at this point of receiving unless you had gone through the healing and the shadow and all that first, right? You couldn't have one without the other. You had to get rid of that first. Whoa, all right. Cleanse and purify your body and your physical space. This is a great time for a detox, clutter clearing, cleansing, and space clearing. Release outdated energy to invite in fresh, clear energy into your life. Eat lightly. Don't take things personally. Release resentment, guilt, and blame. Purify yourself through word and deed. Declutter is a modern-day alchemy. Transmutation. If you don't love it or use it, let it go. This card can also represent abundance, as flowing water is a metaphor for prosperity. And summer is the time of expansion. Yes, and we have the sunshine, sun energy of success with the sunflower. So yeah, again, look at all this money, right? Money goals achieved. Progress, positive in your earthly endeavors. Okay. So yeah, here's the abundance. Look at all the coins, right? And prosperity, absolutely. So let's see what this card says, because this is pretty much on point with what I was already saying, but let's see. This is fascinating to me. All right, so we have the tiger in there. It says flexibility, bamboo in wind. It says, the symbolism of bamboo runs deep. Looks like a bamboo forest, I guess, right? Whereas many larger, seemingly stronger trees will break in high winds, bamboo simply bends and sways. Its flexibility allows it to survive and even thrive while other species suffer. Now, quick, like, I don't know, random fact. From what I understand, okay, bamboo is a grass. And it has a certain life cycle. It only, from what I understand, lives only 100 years, and then that's it. Like, it doesn't come back. It dies, and then it doesn't come back. And it's very invasive. So, you know, most places around here, even in the States, have it. And it's very invasive, but it only has a certain cycle. One life cycle, literally. A human life cycle. And then it's gone. It doesn't come back. So anyway, that's just random fact. Doesn't apply to the reading or anything, but I thought that was interesting. Its flexibility allows it to survive and even thrive while other species suffer. Even during a hard winter when its branches are laden with snow, bamboo doesn't break. It snaps back when the snow melts in the spring. So 2 cards of spring. You see that? April showers bring May flowers. And then this is saying that even after hard winter, it always bounces back in the spring. So this is it's feeling like this is your time to bounce back. Okay? You've gone through your dark night of the soul. You've gone through your winter, right? Your spiritual winter, let's say. And now it's time to come to life. And bounce back. Like you're getting a spring in your step now with this new moon. It says it also has a strong root system, which symbolizes being super grounded and strong, right? Despite life's challenges and fluctuations in the quote unquote weather, right? It says it also has a strong root system, so that even during great storms, there you go, it survives. You can't have the rain, right, without the flowers, or you can't have the flowers without the rain. Yeah, it says so even during great storms, it survives. Additionally, it is often a symbol of abundance because of its rapid growth. Its upward verdant constant growth is used as a metaphor for the fulfilling rise of prosperity. So again, you have 2 cards indicating like the fact that you can't, for one, you can't have a rainbow without a storm, right? You can't have spring flowers, or you can't have May flowers without the April rain. And then they're both talking not only about, the fact that you went through your hard time in order now to receive your abundance or your blessings or, the sunshine, right? It's talking about prosperity. And then we have all these coins. So let's keep going. I'm just fascinated by how both of these flew out, right? And the messages are so similar. The meaning of this card is rich and varied. It cautions you to be flexible in your life, be willing to bend and yield. Yeah, bend so you don't break, right? Deeply rooted and flexible with the fluctuations of life. And that's what life teaches us, to be flexible, to bend so we don't break, right? At the same time, we learn to strengthen our spiritual foundation. So no matter what life throws at us, we're still solid within ourselves, right? That's all about being deeply rooted and grounded. But anyhow, I digress. Yeah, it says there are times to stand strong, but there are also times to go around a situation rather than face it head on. This card suggests being amendable to change, right? It is also a fantastic card for abundance and prosperity, and it suggests that if you're flexible, prosperity can and will come your way in all areas of life. Additionally, it suggests that a time of rapid growth is ahead of you. Don't resist it. The time is right for this surge of spiritual growth to occur. Talk about a leveling up. Okay? This is all according to divine timing, when it was going to be right and perfect for you. So you're on the path to receive your abundance, your prosperity, everything that might have been held up, anything and everything that you felt was lacking in your life. It's not going to be lacking anymore. And I say that because the 5 of Pentacles was here, okay? You're on the path and on the road to arrive at your goals achieved. And it seems that with your goals achieved, you will arrive at your prosperity and your abundance, your success, and everything that you've been after the whole time. Your ideas and inspirations are valid. They have merit. Please don't ever doubt for a second that they do. Spirit knows the timing. Your higher self also knows the timing. You see? Spirit knows the when and the how. Your higher self also has access to the when and the how. But there's also a need for flexibility, a little bit of surrender, okay, through the process. Because we could push, but sometimes if the timing isn't 100% right, we can push all we want. But oftentimes we have to allow, right? And just surrender to the fact that Spirit knows when the right time is. Like I said, it couldn't happen any sooner until you had gone through this first. But now that we see that you have, again, this is like a pictorial showing us that you have. Now that we see that you have, right? It's saying that the timing is right. Now the timing, you know, can, and the speed of it, right? Now you can expect things to start happening very quickly for you. This card is indicating that. It says the time is right for this surge of spiritual growth and progress to occur. It says a time of rapid growth is ahead of you. Now is when things can start happening because you went through all of that. You concluded that. This new moon is showing you that. May, the month of May, like I said, is carrying you from April into May. Your April showers bring May flowers. The flowers will bloom. There goes a blooming sunflower in May. Yeah, you're going to start to see the flowers bloom in many areas of your journey in the month of May. Lots of growth ahead of you. This new moon is bringing that growth. Just be flexible. It's going to happen at a rapid rate. Okay? The timing feels right now. Again, it wouldn't happen any sooner. You had to go through this first, you know? You had to go through that storm first before you could see your rainbow on the other end. Or you had to experience the storm before you can get your rainbow and your pot of gold on the other end of it, right? So, all right, before I keep rambling, let's go ahead and get some angel numbers because this is a really long one. I was not expecting this, but let's see what angel numbers come up for this new moon reading. If you're not familiar with my channel, I do roll the dice to get additional messages via the numbers. You can look up the numbers on the internet. Just Google whatever number comes up. Find a source to interpret the number, okay? Find a source to interpret the number that you like, basically. Because I don't like to recommend a source. It could be one you don't like. It's just maybe one you don't resonate. Again, I don't want to recommend one and you not like it because it can lose some of the magic of what I'm trying to do here. So basically, whatever angel number comes up, Google it, find a source that you connect with, and go from there to interpret the numbers. These numbers, once interpreted, can confirm some things I've already said in this reading and or provide you with additional messages that perhaps you may need for your journey personally. Like I said, I don't recommend a source, but that's okay. I trust that the universe will guide you to the right one. And two, I don't give you a link to get a shortcut to the messages or the number interpretation for various reasons. One of them is I want you to find your own magic. If I gave you a shortcut to research the numbers, I might rob you of that experience. I don't want that to happen because I know that there's a lot of times where we do the research for ourselves, we take that journey, and we end up finding other confirmation, serendipity, and synchronicity that we need along the way. If I gave you a shortcut, I might rob you of that. Don't want that to happen. Likewise, I always tell everybody not to put the number interpretation in the comment section for this same reason. We don't want to rob anybody of finding their own magic this way. Okay, so let's see what numbers come up for this new moon. All right, we have 5, 3, and 9. So 539 is your angel number. Go ahead and look up that number, see what it brings to you. If you feel that this reading has helped you in some way, please do let me know in the comment section down below. Like, share, and subscribe to support this channel. You want to take it a step further to support what I do here, check me out on Etsy. The link to my Etsy store is down below in the description box. Pay me a visit. I have cool things that I make there by hand on my free time. Crystal jewelry, pouches to hold your loose crystals in, tarot readings there when available, keyword when. It's based on my availability and when I can actually, you know, have the time to provide them for my audience. So it's by my availability, and also, you know, sometimes they're sold out too, so then I have to catch up on the readings that are already sold out before I can repost again. So just keep that in mind. If you don't see a reading there, that's why. Just pay me a visit. you know, at any time, see what's there and what's available at your convenience. So much love to you wherever you are. Be well, be safe. Happy new moon. Take care of yourself, okay? Look forward to the progress that you're making and look forward to your goals being achieved. Again, this is beautiful. This is a beautiful reading. I kind of want to say, you know, be proud of yourself for the journey so far and what you've been through to get to this point, to now you being able to receive, because again, you've changed, you've grown, you've learned, you've evolved. You're definitely not the same person you were when you first started the journey, right? And that there's a lot to be said for that. Okay, so when you look back on your journey, all right, be proud of yourself, okay, and how far you've come. So with that being said, I'll leave you here. Take care of yourself and always keep shining.